We are here at the 2019 South Asian International Film Festival at New York City, and these both are here to have their world premiere of Hum Bhi Akele, Tum Bhi Akele here in the heart of New York. I have to ask you, I already asked him in detail how he's feeling. Yeah. How are you currently feeling? It's such a big deal. It's such a huge audience. And it's, as he very nicely said, it is the one place that really, truly admires, respects, and acknowledges the LGBTQ community. How are you feeling?
Well, first of all, it's my very first experience of a festival, so I've got butterflies all over my stomach, in my heart, everywhere you can say. And this film is really close to my heart. The subject that we are dealing with in this film is really close to my heart. That is the reason I did this film. This is my first time of an independent film, otherwise you've only seen me in commercial films, as you say, or Bollywood. But I very much relate to and I'm very closely knit with the LGBTQ community, because a lot of friends of mine are gay and lesbians, mostly gays, because I know the kind of turmoil that they face from their families and societies. In India, we have finally got the freedom of, Section 377, which is in favor of lesbians and gays. But what about the freedom of from our families? What about the freedom from society? You still have to get that freedom, which is of utmost importance. Everybody is okay talking about, the whole idea of gay and lesbian, but if you have one in your own family, you don't want to accept it. So this is a film that kind of shows that the emotions of these people, and even in Bollywood, for a very long time, a gay character has always been used as a comical character. Yes. They've always been made fun of, Somehow their emotions have never been shown, which is very important, because they are as much human as we are. Yeah. They have the same emotions, they have the same blood, same flesh, and they go through heartbreaks the same manner that any of us do. So it's very important to show that to the world, and this is our small attempt, and I'm hoping that all of y'all like it.
I have to ask you both. I'm going to start from him. You both are some of the most diverse, sort of thought-provoking actors who've, even in whatever movies both of you have done, you've really sort of surpass a level with each thing, even with Zareen, when it comes to body image, when it comes to, how should an actress really be, she never really followed that. And with you, you also did that, right? Like, you never really followed that commercial pathway. So I have to ask you, how was the experience and the camaraderie between the two of you?
I have a lot of respect for her as a lady first, because she's a self-made actor. And it's extremely hard in the entertainment industry, anywhere in the world, not just in India, to tread your own path. And she has treaded her own path. And even to do this film, it's a brave film, because in India, like she said, not just in families, but even within the film industry, there is a certain notion, right, that if it's a gay character, it'll be played in a certain way. Yeah. What we both have tried to do in this film is we've kept them human. We've kept them real. And in reality, she has friends, I have friends. You can't look at them and say, oh, that's a gay man or that's a lesbian woman. And we've tried to treat them like human beings, because that's really what... And the film, like I said, when I spoke to you, that it could have been about two men, it could have been about two women, it could have been about a man and a woman who are heterosexuals. Yes. It's just that Mr. Harish Vyas, who's written and directed this film, when he wrote the idea the first time, what appealed to me was, because it's such a human story about two people who happen to be from the LGBTQ community, but find a connect and get bonded. And on that level, which is why I keep saying, this film is about discovering the love and friendship. And that's what essentially this film is. And I'm so happy that we are breaking not just stereotypes, we're also breaking mental conditioning, which is my favorite part, I feel, as with Zareen, you'll watch the film.
Definitely. And with her, Zareen, I would love to ask you, you are someone who was obviously launched with none other than Salman Khan, and to go from a super commercial actor to somebody who's literally known for his hardcore material like Anshuman, to really be a very empowering female actor. Talk to me about how that experience sort of was for you in this movie, and also working with Anshuman, who is like, he loves independent cinema and he loves festivals. So this is like a different territory that you have agreed willingly to be a part of.
Yes, yes. Oh, well, where do I start from? The whole, the way I've been a part of this film, initially I wasn't supposed to be. They had somebody else in mind, and I don't blame them for that, because the perception that I have in Bollywood is very different. You know, I have this ultra glam girl and this and that, and somehow in Bollywood, the whole idea is, which has been told to me on my face, that pretty girls can't act. Okay, and I somehow wanted to break that, because that's not right. Give the pretty girl a chance to see if she can act or not, right? And I'm very happy that Anshuman gave me a chance to do that in this film. And the reason that I did this film was because, as I said, this subject is so close to my heart. I have seen my own friends struggling. I have seen my friend, a gay friend, you know, not being able to tell his own family that he's gay, and they are looking for girls for him, you know. So I know what they go through. I know so closely what they go through. And I was like, when I heard this story, the first narration when Anshuman and Harish sir gave me, by the end of it, I literally had tears in my eyes. And I'm like, I want to be a part of this. I want to tell this story to the world. And no matter what, just let me do it. But then they had their perception, and somehow they were not very convinced. They did take auditions, and finally I'm here, a part of.
This is what I'm saying.
You tested for it, right? You said.
Listen.
Yes, test for it. A commercial actress testing.
Because pretty girls can't act, you see.
I disagree. Pretty girls are super smart. Wouldn't you agree?
You'll see this film and you'll see for herself. She'll blow your socks off with her performance. For the simple reason that, see, acting is, and I am no authority on it, but right now Kareena Kapoor Khan tested for Lal Singh Chaddha. Yeah. I love testing. I like to test for, like in this film, I'll be honest with you, when Harish sir offered it to me and when I agreed to do it, I said, let's read 2 scenes and watch. Because if I'm not convinced personally, acting is not about being selfish. It's about being honest, whether I can be the best person in the given setup to play it or not. And I think in this space, when you'll watch the film, Zareen will make some eyebrows raised, because I'll tell you what, she hits it. I call her the female Salman Khan, because she's kind of, she's doing the heavy lifting. Have you seen the poster? She's lifting.
I'm lifting him.
Exactly. So
I won't call him heavy, but I lifted him.
So I mean, if you have to break boundaries, that was the whole idea of this film, that you change these notions, these conditions. Like she said, even she, me, you, all of us subconsciously get conditioned with the society and what's been told to us. And when she read for us the first time, we loved what was in her eyes. But both Harish sir and everyone, because she's done such big films, we were worried, will she be able to adjust on a small set? And that was always a thought in our mind. But once we shot, like she shot in the same scenario like I have, or like everyone else has. And I think I was telling another friend of mine who's directing something, and he said, would Zareen, you know, she did it with you, but will she do it? I said, stop it, just meet her.
Good cinema and good work, you know. And I have no issues. Even if they give me a tent on the road, I'll stay in that and still complete the film. So
She's quite a tomboy.
She's a tomboy?
She's quite a tomboy.
The reason playing this character was so easy for me, because in my reality, I'm a complete tomboy. From the time I became a part of this industry, I had to kind of be a little, sober down a little, stop riding my bikes and all, because that was the first, like when I was doing Veer, I was playing a princess. So from a tomboy, I had to transform into a princess, which was really difficult.
You was an intense princess. She had a lot to do.
Sometimes I look at those costumes and I wonder
How
that.
did she do it?
Yeah.
That was wow, that's always going to be very close to my heart. But this really gave me a lot of satisfaction, and I'm just hoping that everybody likes this, because the whole idea to do this was to bring the story out to everybody and show everybody what we feel about the LGBTQ community, and they are as much human as any of us are.
You know, Zareen, I know a lot of women are going to watch this, a lot of young South Asian women. I mean, both of you are super popular, but you have a massive like female following on social media, on Instagram. You're just hitting that. What you really hope that this inspires when you're looking at, just the common Indian girl or the common South Asian woman. What you really hope it sort of, takes out of them, and also especially, I feel like lesbian South Asians are probably the toughest topic for any of us to discuss. It's, I feel like it might be easier because we come from a patriarchal society for a man to be, more fastly accepted in terms of being LG from the community instead of a woman. What are your takes on that and just the whole concept of how women look up to you?
First of all, it really gives me an overwhelming feeling when you tell me that I'm an inspiration to a lot of girls. Thank you for that, because I never thought that I'll ever reach a point in my life where I can be an inspiration to others. Today, whatever I am, it's because of all the love and support that I've got from all these, following, my fan following. If it wasn't for them, I don't think I would have been able to do this and, take so many risks in my life and be wherever I am today. As for the lesbian part, yes, it is more difficult than being, for the ladies, it is more difficult because in our society, not that both are accepted, but somehow acceptance towards the men is still okay. Yeah. But when it comes to a girl, oh my God, there are so many questions, and girls are just not supposed to be like that.
ये कैसे कर सकते?
हाँ, ये कैसे
Possible कैसा? ये
हो
है क्या?
ये हो exactly ये है क्या? ये बहुत natural है. And just I was just talking to my friend some time back and saying that this is so natural. It's just that I don't know why humans want to correct this, because this is a natural instinct. I have a lot of pets, okay, and it might sound weird, but for the very first time when I saw that, a male cat was trying to mate with a male cat. So there is no, barrier of, like, you can't call them gay, right?
Yeah.
But they're doing it. It's their natural instinct. And humans are animals. And it is our natural instinct. So why are we trying to correct something which is natural?
Wow. That is the most basic analogy I've seen. I've been told that I'm running out of time. I have to ask you both this question. This is 3 months ahead of the international release, 3 months before the big India release that obviously will shake the floors, with this concept. From both of you, why should everyone go watch Hum Bhi Akele, Tum Bhi Akele? What do you hope it does for everyone?
I would just like to say that we've made an honest, simple film. It's a human story of two people on a road trip. And like I said, it could be anyone. It could be two heterosexual people. In this journey, Mr. Harish Vyas has written a story about two human beings who happen to be homosexuals. And what will appeal to you is their innocence, their purity, what they feel for each other, because boils down to that, I feel. Intent is what life boils down to, whether it's friendship, whether it's love. And this film truly celebrates friendship in a manner like, there's this popular Bollywood adage, pyar dosti hai. This film truly celebrates that in a very real, simple, honest way. And it's a beautiful film. And it's got some lovely music that will really charm you. So I'm not going to sell it too much, which is why we are not trying to, we just want you to see it, and hopefully New York, being the most diverse city, has the best start for it.
Of course, as I've told him, there was no promo I could find. And I was just like, how is this happening?
I want to add my bit as to why people need to see this film.
Yes, that's why I was asking. So there's no promo we have seen. There is not much information, but everyone's so excited. That's why I would love for you especially, how is it going to shake everybody there?
It will. I mean, the day people see this movie, I'm sure it's going to make a lot of difference, because that is the intention we made this movie for. For me, this is a movie that needs to get out in the world, and people need to watch it because it shows the struggles, the turmoil of the LGBTQ community, the emotions that they go through. They are not just a comical, a species in the world where they are there to make fun of. There is a lot more to them. The emotions, as I said, that they go through is similar as to what we go through. When our heart breaks, we cry. When our heart breaks, we do cry, right? And so do they. Yeah. So it is their emotions, and this is what the world needs to see.
Hello everyone, I'm Aditi Lamba with cameraman Raja Bhatti. Welcome to the 2019 South Asian Film Festival, brought to you by HBO. And currently, I have the honor and privilege of having an amazing actor, someone who's also been recognized throughout, someone who's also been respected in this entire industry of film festivals and also has gotten the heart of the masses. We are joined by none other than Anshuman Jha. Thank you so much for being with us on ITV Gold. How are you feeling? I know we are about to have the world premiere of Hum Bhi Akele, Tum Bhi Akele
yes.
here in New York City.
Yes.
And it's the biggest audience you can get. It's the biggest place you can get. How are you feeling?
Well, Firstly, thank you for having me, Aditi. And Aditi is sparkling and it's shining off me. So if I'm looking any better, it's all thanks to her. Having said that, the breeze is really strong outside.
So strong.
It's cold.
Yes.
I don't know how you're getting away in that. And yeah, I'm just happy that a film about the LGBTQ community, homosexuality got legalized in India only last year.
Exactly.
So it was
a big moment.
It was a big taboo
Yes.
before that. And this is pretty much the first film where you have two protagonists, a boy and a girl.
Yeah.
And it's about a homosexual boy and a lesbian girl. And yet it's not an intense, dark, boring film. It's a joyous celebration of the community. It's about two people who are human beings on a road trip. It's about friendship. It's about
Yeah.
discovering the love in friendship.
Yeah.
So on that level, it could have been two boys, it could have been two girls, it could have been a heterosexual couple. It's just that the story is about two people from the community, and we wanted it to keep it that way.
Right.
And it's glad that we are opening in New York, which is the most diverse city on the planet,
Definitely.
and with the highest LGBTQ population.
Yes.
So that's why I was very keen that we start the journey here. We're releasing on Valentine's Day.
Yes,
which
in
is-
India. In 2020 is going to release, yes.
This
Is there a reason why there is not a lot of information available in terms of promos, trailers? Was it,
Yes.
was it an intentional decision to not have so much?
We just wanted the teaser poster to be out, which is the one with me on top of
Yes.
Zareen.
Yeah.
And we didn't want to overfeed people because it's too soon.
Okay.
Because we are coming only mid-Feb and we are in mid-November. So, yeah, I mean, 4 months is too long a lag
Okay.
for a film back home. And the thing with internet these days is if you put it out once,
Right.
it just spreads like wildfire. So there's no way to control it. So we wanted the film to open New York, but we wanted it to be fresh and
Yeah.
we wanted them to discover the film as much as possible rather than us feeding too much information.
Would you say the movie perhaps is going to be a pure, authentic appeal to the LGBTQ community? Of course, you're talking about both somebody who's a lesbian and then one person who's gay, something that's really not been experimented in terms of Bollywood movie, Indian cinema. And on top of that, we haven't had the most successful, LGBTQ empowering movies. So, with your movie, do you hope that that kind of changes and there's a stronger dialogue? And is it also why you think the production team has decided to be very sensitive about how it starts its promotion? I think New York is a great place.
Yeah.
People are so respected here. We have
Yeah.
the highest amount of, LGBTQ prides. We have, parades.
Yeah.
I mean, we even as South Asian networks make it a fact that we represent even, all those aspects of the community. So your
Right.
take on that, sir?
Like you said, you've said everything I want to talk about. The fact that New York has such an open mind when it comes to humanity, if I may say so.
Yeah.
Like when you walk around, like today I took pictures, there was graffiti on the wall
Yes.
and there was pride graffiti.
Yes.
You couldn't have that back home till a year ago because it was not legal.
That's true.
So it was a big shift from a legal point of view for
Yeah.
the community. See, a lot of people had to hide it because there's the social stigma that
Correct.
the previous generation has, and then
Yes.
on top of that, you also have the fear of getting caught.
Well, it's straight discrimination. That's what was happening.
Correct.
Like, if we talk about it,
Yeah,
that's
but-
how the activists approached it.
Yeah, and now that listen, we are all human beings. It's a
Yeah.
choice, right?
Exactly.
It's our wish, and the film talks about that, which is how I started this chat. That it could have been two heterosexual people on a road trip.
Yeah.
But in this film, the journey is about two human beings who happen to be a homosexual man and a lesbian woman.
Yeah.
And it's not done to add a sexual angle to things. It is not done to titillate you. There's no sex
Yes.
in the film.
Yeah.
It's a fun film. It's a joyous film. It's an emotional film. And it's got some great music. So it's got everything that cinema from India has. Technically, some of the best crew present in India right now has worked on this film.
Yeah.
So in terms of quality, you'll see that. The idea was to make a film that appeals to you, that emotionally touches you, and to be honest, sensitizes you.
Yeah.
Back home, it's very important
Yes.
for people to accept that it's okay if someone in their family is gay.
Yeah.
It's okay, it's their choice, and you don't need to discriminate them because, see, it's been legalized.
Yeah.
But the
it's
social
not socially
stigma,
accepted.
social stigma is
Yeah.
still there. Like I have friends whose parents want them to get married to a girl, even though they are
They're
not
aware.
straight.
Some of them.
Some of them, yes.
Wow.
But just the fact that some of them can't even tell it to them is a huge... And there's a very interesting story to this film that I was here 2 years ago at the same festival with my film that year called Angrezi Mein Kehte Hain, which had Sanjay Mishra, Pankaj Tripathi and me.
Which also got some incredible reviews and so much love. From
Yeah,
everybody.
we won the best film here that year. So we were very excited.
But even
for
back
that.
in India, a lot
Way
of
back,
recognition.
we got a lot of love.
Yes.
It's on Amazon now, so watch it, please. The thing is that see, you broke my chain of thought. I started thinking
You
about
came
Angrezi.
here 2 years ago.
So
And there's a story behind this
yes,
film.
so I was in a cab ride between JFK and the New Yorker, where we were staying.
Oh, wow.
And Mr. Harish Vyas, who was the director of that film, you know what happens in India is that you get very little time to
Interact.
relax and chat because you're constantly working or
Yeah.
you're at social events. And him and me have become friends because we did Angrezi Mein. So he just, in the cab ride, said, you know, Anshuman, I have written a film about a gay boy and a lesbian girl, but I'll only make it if you're interested in doing it.
This was 2 years ago.
This was in December 2017.
Wow.
Okay, so I said, sure, sir, tell me the story. So in the cab ride, he narrated me the story, the germ idea in his head, and I loved it. So I said, why don't you develop this? So he said, I'll take 6 months. I said, go for it, because I'll do
Happened
it.
in New York.
So it started here.
Wow.
And that's why I was very keen for it to open here, because it kind of mentally makes a full circle for me. And at that time, he wanted to make it with another set of producers. But like I said, this was a human story. We developed the script for 12 months. So
Wow.
between December 17 and December 18, the script was getting worked on.
Wow.
It was at the Singapore Film Market in November 18 as one of the top 10 scripts from Asia. And it went into production in February this year. We shot it in April and May. And here we are,
Wow.
6 months later.
Absolutely
So
amazing.
yeah, it's been a journey. It's been my most emotionally draining character because I'm a heterosexual man who was
Yeah.
playing, and I have a certain way I approach.
Yes. What did it take out of you, if I was to ask you in that regard, and I love how you just actually addressed that, to play somebody that you aren't, then to play somebody in which you're going to have to set a standard for some kind of responsible cinema in which people can relate to. Also being a person who's literally associated as the responsible, film actor, a person who has made it to...
Recently somebody wrote a piece saying, I'm a thinking man's actor. And I was like, no, I want people who don't think to also like me.
No, but even you've said in so many of your interviews that I want to approach the mass media, but I want to have the feel of an independent cinema, the freedom of that.
This is that. Because this talks about...
What did it do for you?
I did little things in the prep. See, if you ask me to play a cook, I can learn how to chop. That's an external factor that I can learn, and I can then portray it and be convincing, and people will say, oh wow, he tried method and he's so good. This was not external, right? The way a man touches me and the way I react, the way Anshuman reacts is very different to the way Veer, the character, had to react. So it was something very internal. So I tried to, I have friends who are homosexual, but it's one thing to observe them, but the way I function, I like to feel it. And I started then discovering a way to break my line of thought. So I wear a watch on my left hand. I said, no, Veer's going to wear it on his right. So in the film, you'll see it. So every time, what happened was I wanted to watch time on set. By default, I had to, it's a very small, silly thing. But as an actor, it starts all adding up. I intentionally wore really colorful undergarments. Every day I went on set. I didn't have to strip.
That's true.
But then what happened was in the makeup van, every time I wore it, it gave me a because Anshuman doesn't do it. You know what I mean?
And it is extreme enough for you to associate it. Like maybe somebody from the community could just be very, flamboyant. And they might be wearing something spirited.
See, again, it's not something you see in the film. It's not like you see my chaddis on screen.
Of course not.
It's for me, in my head, to feel not me. Because I'm trying to change something internally, and I have to find triggers in the outer world,
So breaking your own mold.
So,
Essentially,
and it's very hard because of what I said, because the touch, the reaction. At the same time, there was a bigger challenge that in India, there is a prototype. That gay men are always, I didn't want to go to any of that. So then how do you address a man who's feminine enough
Yeah.
without making him seem weak,
Exactly.
without making him seem pansy. You know, these are words that the Indian, film fraternity, for a lack of better, explanation.
Yeah.
Those are the words they use when they are portraying a character that is not straight.
That's true. And we've seen it in movies.
Yeah,
we've
yes,
seen
sir.
all
Like-
commercial movies
Yeah.
really attribute to the LGBT community in only one aspect, and it's often comical.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
So
they're the,
you
they're the
don't-
comic relief,
yeah,
right?
they're the comic relief. So how do you then go ahead and authenticate a character and actual emotions of humans that are living in the country?
Exactly. So that's my point. I was
Yeah.
trying to. So it was a very thin line I was treading because
Yeah.
I also couldn't make him boring.
That's true. Yeah,
You know,
he
and
says
when
very
you'll see the film, you'll realize what I'm saying. He is a very. He's a very subdued sort of a guy. So it was really hard to not make him dead because a character like that can come across as, unidimensional, for a lack of better word. So yeah, it was all those things. And then on the first day of shoot, I felt really ill. So I shot for the first 4 days with like 104 temperature.
Oh my gosh.
So, which in hindsight I feel really helped me. So yeah, it's all a blessing. I feel. My director says I look at it that way because I was really busted those 4 days. But yeah, it's all worked out well. You can't make it out in the film.
What did the director, Harish Vyas, you know, he's very respected as well. As now you just told us he's a very dear friend of yours. When you saw the movie eventually, and we were all about to see it, what did he think of it? Is he proud of not only the work you've done, but how the story has truly come out?
Yeah, he said something to me that after LSD, which is considered
Yes.
my peak, I've been trying to outdo that all my life. I think I'll keep doing it.
Really?
Yeah,
I Love Sex with Oka was pretty much like it just started a different genre of movies. if
yeah,
you
also,
say.
but no, it set a benchmark, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's true.
it's right now a list of the best films of the decade
Yes.
came, and it's right there. It's right up there because it has to be because the Barker's a genius.
Yeah.
Like all of us were lucky to be a part of that film. But the thing is, when it's set there, you're trying to create. It's not like I haven't been appreciated, whether it's Bakrapur or Chauranga or Angrezi Mein Kehte
Yes.
Hain or Mona Darling or
Yes.
all these films are like the critics have been always very kind, but you know you need to outdo that. So Harish sir saw this film and he said, as an actor, every actor has about 4 or 5 landmark
Yeah.
films in their lives. He
Yeah.
said this is the second one. So that was very satisfying for me because he's directed me in Angrezi Mein, which was a very loud, boisterous, very Govindaish character, you know,
Yeah.
who would wear colorful shirts and present a cauliflower to the girl instead of a rose. Whereas this guy thinks 10 times before even speaking what he's feeling. So it's a complete departure from. Also, he understands me now, so he lets me be.
Yeah.
He
Are you
himself.
proud of his work?
Sorry?
Are you proud of him?
Harish sir?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think in reality, he's a painter. He's a fine art grad.
Oh, wow.
So what happens is that kind of is visible in every frame. That's what I love about his cinema. Every frame is beautiful. It looks like a painting, which is something I'm trying to learn because he's very patient and very slow. Hindi mein main unko guy bulata hu because he's so sweet and he's always like this and he never screams, never shouts. I'm the complete opposite. Like I'm trying to get through things very fast. So he slows me down. I really like that influence
Wow.
that he has on me, and I'm doing we are doing something. I land back day
wow.
after, and we're starting something
Oh,
immediately.
wow.
So I'm really looking forward to collaborating on that. But tonight is all about this baby. It's been, like I said, 18 months of our lives.
Yes.
Developing it, making it, producing it,
Yeah.
and
How has being a producer been for you? I know Mona Darling was also your own project.
Yeah.
And, you know, you are someone who's now not only defining a different set of cinema, you are breaking barriers. It's very obvious at this point.
Right.
And you've been very clear about what kind of cinema you want to do. So where is it going to go now? And do you think producing while acting or having that creative control truly is the next step to have more empowering cinema?
well, I'm directing next year.
Oh, wow.
It just got announced, and I have some amazing actors with me.
Director, producer, actor.
No, but I'm an actor. That's my first love and that's my only love. It's just that my inspirations have always been people like Charlie Chaplin,
Oh, wow.
Kishore Kumar, Amir Khan.
Amir Khan,
These
yes.
are artists. There's no they have their first call for me, which is acting. I hope I get to die on a film set, to be honest, or on stage, because
Wow.
yeah, that's all I want to do all my life. But what happens is, because you've done it for so many years, something that I have not lost till now
Yeah.
is my ability to detach and say something's not working when it's not, even with my own performance, which is very important to do as a performer. Which is why I can produce. Like there's a scene in the film which I saw and I said, it's too long, and it was my scene. I said, chop it. And Harish sir looked at me and said,
Are you
what
serious?
kind of an actor are you? You're looking at. So, yeah, there's a rhythm. Like
Yeah.
music, film has a rhythm, and you can sense it. So till now, that's not gone. And as a production house, it's not just me.
Yeah.
Yes, I choose to greenlight something that I want to act in, but this was originally supposed to be produced by someone else. But they were looking at it as a gay lesbian film, whereas this was not a gay lesbian film. This was a human film. So the decision to produce it came from a place that this needs to be projected right. You get what I'm
That's so
saying?
true. Yes, of course.
Now, if you had seen a trailer about a gay boy and a lesbian girl like that,
Yeah.
it would have given you a very different
Yeah.
picture.
Yeah, especially an Indian movie.
Yeah.
Because you tend to think in a certain way.
Which is why now we've decided we'll not show you anything. Why don't you come watch it?
Yeah.
Even if two people write something about the film and its human element, that's what we're looking at. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, yes. So you can chart the end game rather than. We know how to make movies. Like I've been making. I was an assistant director when I was 16. So half my life, pretty much, I have been doing this.
You dedicated your entire life to this profession.
Yeah. So yeah, I can now say that something works or it doesn't work on the beat, at least for myself. So that kind of gives me the freedom to choose. And I have some really good collaborators who support me because I wouldn't have been able to produce otherwise. And I'm very grateful to all of them to just blindly back my vision. When I say a script, this is what I want to do, they say, go, fire. Mona Darling was India's first social media thriller.
Yeah.
It had gone through 3 studios and it was not getting made. And I was only supposed to act in that also before I decided to.
Wow. So this also happened. Basically, it's just a chance of luck.
not
In a
chance,
way,
yeah,
and for you
because-
to really incorporate because you didn't see enough support, the
No,
right support.
I was worried because the script came to me after LSD in 11, and there was India's biggest studio was producing it at that time.
Yeah.
And then they had creative differences with the filmmaker, so that didn't fall out. Then it went to another studio, really big studio, and then the top brass of that studio changed, so then it stopped.
Wow.
By then, Hollywood made a film in 14 called Friend Request, which was a very different film, but it was based on the social media. So then we were worried that if we don't make it, somebody in India, and the script had been around.
Yes, yeah.
So we didn't want to lose that chance, which is when Shashi and me decided that let's produce it together. And then that's when the company got formed, and because we didn't have the money to make it the way it was to be made.
Wow.
And we
I'm
were
glad you did it.
yeah, and that film has had its life. Like people watch it on Amazon or Hotstar and send us such amazing messages. They say they haven't seen thrillers like that from India, which is the idea. We want to specialize in high concept.
Which you've not really seen in India, and I'm guessing Hum Bhi Akele, Tum Bhi Akele is going to
The
be
next
that.
step.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. What are your hopes? You know, I know we're talking here in New York, and I know for a fact that New York is going to love it. We
Yeah.
love when Indian cinema barriers are pushed, and obviously, like the trust that the audiences has in you is amazing here.
Yeah.
But in terms of the India release, which is going to happen in a couple more months,
3
what
months,
are you,
yeah.
what are your hopes in that aspect? And how do you really, you are somebody who is actually loved by the masses. The masses can relate to you.
Yeah.
You know, you come from the masses.
Yeah.
So,
I'm ordinary.
Yeah.
I have always said that. I'm extremely ordinary,
So how do you
extremely
get there?
boring.
with them on this movie.
See, I am but a part of the film. I am not the film.
Right.
I am a tool in Harish sir's vision to tell the story, whether it's Zareen, me.
Yeah.
Zareen also tested her way into this film. This is not a
wow.
film. Yeah, she tested for this film and got the film. So the whole idea was get people who fit the part. We are all tools. It's Harish Vyas's vision. It's Harish Vyas's story. And when you'll watch the film, you'll realize how beautiful it is. And he's made a very emotional film, which will appeal to the people that will appeal. There will be a set of people who will not get it. And I'm totally okay with that because, I mean, everybody doesn't need to like everything.
That's
like,
true.
I don't like everyone, and everybody cannot like me. And I'm totally at peace with that. As long as we've made it honestly, which I think we have, and it appeals to and affects even one person, if after watching this movie there's one parent who opens up to his gay son, or one lesbian woman who gets the power to go and talk to her family about what she's going through, I think that's victory there. And I'm not talking about social change or anything, because I think cinema is supposed to entertain. This will entertain, which is why we've kind of cushioned it. There's amazing music in the film, but it'll work if you connect with the characters. And I'm going to ask you at the end of the film if the characters are working.
Yeah. You know, I have one last question for
Yes,
you.
yes, please.
Of course, the LGBTQ community, when it sees it, especially South Asian, are going to have an opinion on it, I'm sure.
Yes, yes.
And I hope that they relate to it.
Yes.
Going through the experience that you went through in the process of making this movie, producing this movie, going through it for 18 months together, what's your message after all that you've experienced to that community and your hopes for the South Asian LGBTQ community? I'm sure they love a word on that.
When I heard the script, or when I live life, I think everything's a choice, and I think everyone should have an equal chance at choice. This film is about that. Everyone has a choice as a human being. You need to be honest, and you need to choose what you feel is right. The problem is society conditions us about rights and wrongs, and when I see my friends' parents struggling to come to terms with the fact that he's gay, they're not wrong. It's just that that's the conditioning that they've been given.
It's true.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's a series of wrong events after wrong events after wrong events, right? Now with the legalization of homosexuality back home, that's a good step, right? So it'll take some right events after right events after right events, and it's films like this, theater like this, art forms like this,
Yes.
that'll slowly change the conditioning. Cinema can never change society.
Yeah.
I'm not even trying to do that. I have never propagated that. It needs to entertain, and I hope this film entertains you, and while entertaining you, gives you a thought that it's okay to have the freedom to choose.
Yeah.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, you can be
I totally
you.
respect that.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, of course. One last message for our audience, and also I forgot to ask you one last message for the entire team of South Asian Film Festival. And also, they got HBO as their top presenter.
Yes,
so
it's
on that too. We'll
it's
close off on that.
it's my third time here. In 2014, I had X Past is Present, which was the opening film. That was again a very special film. It had Huma Qureshi, Swara Bhaskar, lots of lovely actors with me. Then in 17 we had Angrezi Mein Kehte Hain and Mona Darling here. And this year we have the world premiere. I'm very grateful to HBO. I'm very grateful to the entire team of South Asian International Film Festival, Shilin, Meghna, the entire gang, because I know how hard it is. This is important because this is a platform that lets us reach to the Indian diaspora here in a manner that, rather the South Asian diaspora, in a manner that is extremely critical for the growth of cinema.
Yeah.
Because theatrical releases have only so much power, because there's so many elements, right? There's timing, there is, and now with these days, luckily for filmmakers, there are digital platforms that give you a chance to view a film.
That's true.
But festivals like that sow the seed. So it's imperative that this continues, and I'm really very grateful and thankful.
Well, thank you so much for being with us here on ITV
Thank you.
Gold.
Thank you.